imagine standing on one side of the room, turning off all the lights and trying to dive across the room and land on a postage stamp on the other side.
This is the rite of passage for the naval aviator, and to pass through it is exhausting, but very, very satisfying.
Hear a lot of jokes, that you could train a monkey to do this eventually, but I'd beg to differ with that. It takes a lot of gumption to get out there and do it, for one thing, and we work real hard at what we do, and to be able to do it well and do it right, and it's something to be real proud of.
During the night, the clouds rolled back in, and the deck was dusted with a light rainfall. The tomcats sit like nesting birds of prey on the fantail, their dark gray finish made even more so by the leaden skies. But further up the deck, there is activity once more. Another launch, airplanes leaving the cat again. And again. And again, until the air wing of the USS Carl Vinson is razor sharp and ready. The world of the modern aircraft carrier. It is made up of specialists, men and machines concentrating on individual tasks that together make up the carrier battle group. The E-2C will be the high-altitude platform for command and control. The A-6 intruders will deliver the ordnance. The F-14s will fly combat air patrol and handle long-range interception. The A-7s will take care of flak suppression. And the EA-6B will protect them all, providing an electronic shield during the most critical minutes of the mission. It is called the Prowler, the most effective electronic warfare airplane in the world today. In just a few minutes after launch, the enemy will know that our airplanes are on the way, picking them up on radar scopes that clearly show their position, altitude, course, and speed. Radar is fundamental to detection and weapons control. An enemy is going to use it to control guided missiles and aerial intercepts. It is instant combat intelligence, and the enemy would be blind without it. The job of the Prowler is to take away the enemy's eyes, blind that radar with a blizzard of jamming emissions. You see, there are many radars employed by armed forces all over the world. It makes for a density of electronic emissions that boggle the mind. The EA-6B can jam enemy radar without affecting its own forces. The Prowler is the only aircraft dedicated exclusively to fighting naval battles of electronic warfare. The crew of an EA-6B is made up of a pilot and 3 electronic countermeasures officers known as ECMOs. The airplane is basically a big flying computer, the ALQ-99. Here's how it all works. Emissions of enemy radar are picked up at long range by the sensitive equipment on the Prowler. The ALQ-99 analyzes the signal and shows it on a cockpit display. The ECMOs continuously react to the signals, and when the strike force is within range of the radars, jammers are activated. If an unknown radar appears, the ECMO can assign it a frequency and jam it on the spot. Since the first Prowler was introduced in 1972, it has come of age by meeting the steadily increasing challenge of electronic warfare at sea. Today, its speed, range, and maneuverability are compatible with strike aircraft. In short, it can keep up when the battle gets hairy. Prowler crews are trained at Whidbey Island Naval Air Station in Washington State. Prowler University, as it is called, turns out ECMOs and pilots with a high degree of expertise and motivation.
At any time that we have an overheat situation that exists in the constant speed drive, a temperature that exceeds 260 degrees plus or minus 10 degrees Fahrenheit, on the caution lights panel you will have a CSD light that will come on.
First, there are the specifics of flying one of the Navy's most sophisticated airplanes. Then, specific work begins on the jamming system itself.
It's airborne now with the pod.
Finally, there is an exacting schedule of flight training in a computer-controlled simulator that can provide realistic scenarios for the crew members. Instructors working through nearby consoles can call up programs to simulate any onboard failure or malfunction. The ECMOs are given a workout too, dealing with an array of radar threats.
Well, the EA-6B is the only tactical carrier aircraft that has a true electronic warfare capability. We have a set number of them organic to each of our air wings and to each carrier. And they're programmed right in with the strikes, the defensive tactics, the entire air wing operation. They're very, very important. And we will be dependent on them, as we said before, in most scenarios.
For example, if a Prowler has to protect the fleet, it can orbit at high altitude, working with the E-2C, gathering information to relay to the force commander. If the enemy is looking for the carrier battle group with long-range radar, that signal can be jammed as soon as it's picked up. The enemy can't see us, but the signal tells the Prowler where he is.
EA-6B tactics during the mission will be to jam the acquisition, GCI, fire control, and AAA radars. The NAVRA profile, a couple of considerations, will be silent to 60 nautical miles, and we'll turn our jammers on at that point, leave them on for the remainder of the route until the egress. We'll stay with you over the target, come on out and pick you up on the ride out.
The other job of the Prowler is the strike mission.
The overall objective is to put this airplane and its capabilities in position with the strike group in order to afford maximum protection for our strike aircraft going in and out so that we have maximum effectiveness, minimum losses.
Knowing that the EA-6B is along, even in the practice problems that we run on a day-to-day basis for training, gives us all an increased feeling of confidence. The airplane is tremendously capable. It does the job that it was designed to do, does it extremely well. I'm very glad they're on our side.
Initially, the enemy is showing only routine radar surveillance. The strike group forms now and begins the ingress to target. Momentarily, both sides are electronically blinded by terrain. But the enemy has been alerted, and when the planes are in the clear again, the Prowlers find that the enemy has switched on more radars. The attacker's course, speed, and position are clear. Next, ground control intercept signals appear, showing that the enemy is launching alert fighter planes. At 60 miles, the Prowler turns on the jammers and the attack is on.
We know we've done our job when we launch out on a strike with 12 or 15 aircraft and we come back and we still have 12 or 15 aircraft.
The Prowler of today is being continually updated for the needs of tomorrow. The airplane has room for extended performance, and each year money is being found in a tight Navy budget to buy EA-6B Prowlers for tomorrow. In the meantime, the airplane of today is enjoying great success with the Navy and the Marine Corps. The job of the Prowler is to save ships, aircraft, and lives. And for the foreseeable future, no other aircraft in the world can match it.